Alright, what's up everybody? This is Zeg Trades or Zeg Trades, however you want to pronounce it. Today I'm about to upload the first ever video after a year of not uploading. This is the first ever official video for 2026 when the whole of 2025 without uploading any video. Last time I uploaded a video was back in 2024 and the whole of 2025 I did not upload anything, and that was due to some personal reasons. I'm back this year and I'm going to log in, and I promise you guys I'm going to give you content that is worth watching. This is going to be a very great year this year, and without any waste of time, let's dive into what I'm about to do today. So everything trading is all this channel is about. So today what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do market analysis, a weekly market analysis for gold, for NAS, for US30, for oil, and for Bitcoin. So first of all, we're going to look at gold. I'm going to take you guys through step by step of how to analyze these pairs. So what I do is a top-down analysis. If you don't know what top-down analysis is basically when you analyze the market from higher time frames all the way down to smaller time frames. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. So what I'm going to do is that first I'm going to go to 4-hour time frame, and that's where I'm going to get all my levels, my major key levels. So I'm going to teach you guys how I do that. So this is how I mark my zones. I mark levels before I mark zones. So if you just pay attention to what I do, this is not me teaching you guys how to do all these things. However, I'll dedicate a video where I teach you guys how to spot these levels and what I see on these levels and how I am able to mark these levels. So this is the levels that I have. These are the levels that I have. These are my major levels, major key levels, right? Gold has been on a bull run recently and it's been pushing up. As you guys can see, it's been pushing up and hasn't been exhausting. We've had these little exhaustions as opposed to the other exhaustions. This is the exhaustions that we have. But if we go further and look at this gold pair, and I go ahead and just what I do is that I do not focus on the lines only, I focus on a zone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mark this and make it a zone, and mark this, make it a zone, mark this, make it a zone. And as you mark this, you're going to see that the structure is going to reveal itself. The structure is going to reveal itself. Today it's a Tuesday, and I'm expecting the market to move a little bit quicker than yesterday because yesterday it was Monday. The market tends to move a little bit slow on a Monday. You do not have to mark everything that you see here, but however, I'll advise you to mark what you are currently working with at the moment. So once you master this top-down analysis, trust me, interpreting the market is going to be easy for you. Alright, so I think I'm done marking all the levels. And I think this one is going to be a level that I'm going to have to mark and just keep it in mind and see when I go to the lower time frames how the market reacted to those zones. just to make sure everything is precise. And after the 4-hour time frame, I scale down to the hourly time frame. What I do in the hourly time frame is that I look at the intraday levels, which is the levels that are within the key levels which I've marked on the higher time frames. So intraday levels, and as I had mentioned, I knew these were going to be some sort of there were going to be some sort of reactions to these levels, and as you can see, we have a reaction on this level. I'm going to go ahead and mark it as an intraday level, and then I'm going to go ahead and mark this one as an intraday level. And once I mark this, what I focus on is that I focus on the structure of the market, the current structure that we have on the market right now. And if you actually look at this and then look at this one, this is the first touch, second touch, and then the third touch, you can see that we have an upward trending channel, which is the current structure that we have. When you go ahead and just clone this trend line that you've placed below, and you can see it's also respecting at the top, and from this you can already tell what the market is about to do, what the market will be intending to do. You can also go ahead and mark this level, but then I don't advise watching out for this level, as the market has already disrespected the level. So what I can do is that you can remove this and wait for the market to kind of like wait for the market to break above, come back, retest, and then you look for a continuation, because the market is doing what? Gold is currently on a bull run, and it's on a series of higher highs and higher lows, on a series of higher highs and higher lows. This is exactly what I see for gold for this week. I see gold continuing to move forward unless it then does what? Unless it breaks below and disrespect the structure, comes back and breaks this low, come back here, come back and retest it. We're going to be looking for gold to go down, and we'll have ourselves. But currently what I see is that the big possibility that might happen is that the market is going to continue going up, and for the entries you go to 30 minutes and 15 minutes. 30 minutes and 15 minutes, that's where you can look for your entries. You look for your entries, and by the entries the market is always going to tell you what it's going to do before it does that thing. If you were on the market monitoring what was happening here, you can tell that the market clearly gave us some sort of like a reversal pattern. And what was that reversal pattern? I see two patterns here, and I see three confluences. First confluence is that the market came back to retest this level. The second confluence is that we had a rejection candlestick pattern. What is the rejection candlestick pattern? You see that the market went down, came back, went down, and as soon as it got here, as soon as the market got here, it did what? Gave us a rejection pattern, which is a candlestick pattern. I have a very powerful pattern that I always look out for, which is a rejection pattern. First of all, the market is going to give you a rejection, and the second candlestick that is going to follow is going to be a momentum candlestick, which is this, an engulfing candlestick. See that the market gave us a rejection candlestick, this doji here, and followed by what? Followed by a momentum push to the upside, which is this bullish engulfing candlestick. So another confluence is that the market gave us a what? A chart pattern. Chart pattern is this, head and shoulders, which is a reversal, head and shoulder. If you look at this clearly, right? Came back, retested this, and now we're looking for the market to possibly go to the upside. And you can see that the neckline has already been retested. The neckline has already been retested by this. If you do not have the patience and have enough capital on your account, you can already, or just test it out on your demo, you can already take this position and just target that top part of the channel up there. And this is how I see gold moving for this week. And for now, we just wait for the market to play out, because we do not lead, we follow the market, right? The second pair that I want to look at is going to be NAS100. NAS100. Right? Same thing that we did for gold. All we do is that we start from a higher time frame, either the 4-hour time frame or the daily. If you do not have enough information on your 4-hour, you go to your daily and you scale down, right? So what I see now is that I can go to my daily, which is where I'm going to have my levels, precise levels. And I'm going to have to mark that high up there. And basically just mark this. And then I'm going to have to mark this one. Going to have to mark this low. Remember, this is a higher time frame. The higher the time frame, the more valid the levels. The higher the time frame, the more valid the levels. Once you have your levels right on your higher time frame, you just know that you have everything correct. And what I like about doing the top-down analysis is that once you mark your levels on a higher time frame, you can have your levels marked for weeks without even changing them. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna have to scale down to our 4 hours to look deeper into the market and see what has been transpiring, right? So I'm gonna scale down to 4 hours. And on our 4 hours, we're going to mark this and make them zones. Instead of just having them as levels, we're going to turn these things into zones. You see, this is a zone. You see, this is a zone. It's a zone. We've already marked this zone. And I can already tell that I have another level here where there is a gap. And in this gap, what do you do? Turn it into a zone. This one, also you can tell that the market is respected. And then you mark it and you continue. Okay. Right, have that one marked, and then go ahead and just mark this one. I need you guys to follow me and then follow what I'm doing right now so that you can understand. I hope you guys do understand. I'm sorry, I keep on getting interrupted. And alright, I think I have all the necessary levels that I need currently. These ones I don't think I need currently because the market is trading far away from these levels. So I mark and work with and work only with what I have currently. And from what you guys can see now is that the market has already given us something. I can see I'm on a higher time frame, but then I can already tell that the market has given us something to work on and has already given us a bias, possible bias. So let me just scale down to an hourly time frame and look deeper into what's going on the market. All right, this is beautiful. All right, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Remember, on a hourly time frame, we focus on the structure and intraday levels. Structure and intraday levels. Go ahead and just clone that one and see if it agrees with the top part of the channel. And I can tell and see that it does agree with the top part of the channel. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to continue. Go ahead and just look at the market, and we already have our bias. Our bias is that the market is already broken above this key level, above this key level. The market is already broken above this key level. You guys can see. And the rules of the market is that you're going to have an impulsive movement, and then you have a corrective movement before you have a continuation to the upside. And as we see now is that the market is giving us a first leg of an impulsive movement, giving us a second leg of a correction, and then gives a second leg of an impulsive movement. With this impulsive movement, the market was able to break above this resistance level, came back to retest, and the market, what it does is that it usually comes back to retest twice before moving to the upside, moving to the intended direction. So this is what I see at the moment, is that what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to scale down and look for those confirmation candlesticks, confirmation patterns before I can do what, before I can confirm that the market is indeed going to the upside, right? And this is what I have. Alright, I'm back, guys. I'm sorry, I keep on getting disrupted. And don't mind the noise that is in the background because there's just people who just got in here. And as I was saying, I am still looking for that last rejection before the market can decide and confirm that it's going to go to the upside. And the other thing that I'm seeing now is that I see I see another pattern or another terminology, which is a trend inside a trend. And you can see that the market is clearly respecting this trend. Trend in trend is basically when there's a trend in another trend. You see that we have two trends that are taking place, and yeah, this is what I see for NAS100, and looks really good. Looks it's going to go to the upside, but I know that before it can go to the upside, might look to come and take people out and then decide to come test this level right there before it goes to the upside. Those people who entered very early, still early. Usually NAS starts moving at around 4 o'clock. It is South African time. I don't know where you guys are, but 4 o'clock South African time, or between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. So now we're going to move forward to US30. Alright, US30, and we're going to follow the same plan. What we do not change anything. We do the same thing over and over and over again. What we do first is that we're going to mark our highs and lows, and those highs and lows, because this is a higher time frame, what they do is that they represent key levels, major key levels, right? I'm gonna go ahead and mark this one. But my advice is to mark the ones that you are currently dealing with, or the ones where the market is currently. Alright, I'm just gonna turn off the mic. I'm gonna turn off the mic and then I'll turn it on if I wanna explain something, because there's too much noise in the background. So Alright, this is what I see for US30. US30 is currently, yesterday I was actually able to execute a trade on US30. However, I took profit. Initially, my target was this one. However, I took profit here because the market went down, came back, and then as it came back for the second time, I saw it was failing to break above this intraday level. I saw that it was failing to break above this intraday level. That's when I decided to take profit. So yeah, you guys can see that USDT is currently in a range. It's currently ranging between these two levels. See, between these two levels. If it fails to, when it comes here, I Alright, so now we're moving over to oil, which is crude oil. So we're going to follow the same pattern, go from the higher time frames all the way to the lower time frames. So let's begin to analyze oil. Currently, I'm sorry, you guys will have to forgive me because there's a lot of people making noise in the background. So I'm just gonna keep on turning off the mic and turn it on whenever I need to say something. Alright, so oil, I'd advise to stay away from oil as of now because it looks a little bit messy. There isn't a clear direction of where it's going. Still rallying, still consolidating. Uh, the only thing that I've managed to do was just to mark the levels. But then, as far as structure, it's not clear, and the direction of the market is not clear as to where the market is going to go. So for oil, I'd advise to still mark the levels and the zones only and just leave it as like that. But then there is something that I've actually spotted that I think might be of a help when it comes to the long term um, anticipation of the market. If I go back to the daily time frame, there's something that I actually saw that I want to show you guys that makes me think that oil in the long run is going to keep on going up. If you look at the structure on a daily time frame, if you look at the structure, you can clearly see that the market has just broken out of a very strong trend, which a which was a downtrend. As you can see, the market has broken out of this trend and it's still consolidating, which is why the market is rallying now and has no clear direction. But then I can see that the market has the possibility of going to the upside. As you can see that the market has done a breakout retest, simple breakout retest. The market was going down till it came back, gave us a low, came back, failed to give us a low, gave us a higher low, failed to give us a lower low, gave us a higher low, broke out of the structure, came back to retest the structural high. The structural high. This was the last high before the market broke out of structure, which is why I call it a structural. It's a structural level. This is a structural high. The market came back to retest, and now we look for a further continuation to the upside. But this is on a higher time frame. It's on a higher time frame. I advise you guys to wait and keep on monitoring what is going to happen with oil. But as far as things stand now, oil has no clear direction for us intraday traders or day traders. Okay, one other thing is I've noticed that the internet has suddenly became slow. I don't know what the problem is. I hope it doesn't affect us because I might just have to end the video. But then I'm only left with Bitcoin at this point. So we're just gonna do Bitcoin and then move on. Alright, so now we have Bitcoin on the screen, guys. This is going to be the last pair that I'm analyzing, and I can see clearly that we're starting to have internet connection problems. We're having connection problems because the internet has suddenly became slow. But then let's follow our pattern, start from a daily, mark our levels, and then go all the way down. Alright guys, so you can see for Bitcoin's price has been one of the clearest since I've been analyzing here. Um, as you guys can see, if I can start by showing you guys what I saw on a higher time frame, on the daily time frame, if you know your patterns, you can see that this is basically a continuation pattern. Before I go on to show you guys what I see, also is that as you guys can see, this has been going down, right? And we actually have one of the most powerful patterns in price action, as you can see, the pattern that we call a flag. You see that the market actually went down and then gave us something of this sort, creating some sort of like a flag. If you check this out, right? If you check this out, this is some sort of like a flag. It's a bearish flag showing that the market is going down. This is a continuation because the market has to go down, and the flag is something, looks something like this, right? This is where you have your flag because it looks like a flag, literally looks like a flag as you look at it. You see, this is a flag that I am talking about. A flag. This is a flag. Okay, looking at the structure, the current structure of Bitcoin, it's clearly going down. As you guys can see, we have a series of lower lows and lower highs. And you go ahead and just clone this one. It must agree with the top. The bottom must agree with the top, right? As you guys can see, they actually do agree. But then I think I may have just rushed a little bit to draw my structure because structures are most probably more accurate on a daily time frame, right? As you guys can see now, the market is clearly in an exhaustion phase. So you have your intraday level right there. If you look at it now, we can clearly see that Bitcoin is on a clear downtrend. We have so many confluences right now. If you go back to your 4-hour chart, you can clearly see that the market has just broken out of another structure. Just broken out of this structure. Remember, after every breakout you must have a correction, and this is just a breakout retest concept, a simple breakout retest concept. We just broke out of this one, and we're currently respecting the one that we are currently in. So we're looking for Bitcoin to actually continue going to the downside. However, I know that Bitcoin has been rallying between 90,000 and 80,000 recently, 83,000 and 90,000. So this is where we currently are right now. So for Bitcoin, I see it going all the way to the downside. If you actually have enough in your account, you can actually enter a position as we speak at the moment. And I can see that we have another trend which is forming a trend, trends in trends, doesn't matter. You can decide which one to go with, but I like to go with the overall trend most probably. So you go back to we go to our 1 hour. 1 hour is the one that's going to show us clearly, as you guys can see. And also I have another confluence that shows that Bitcoin is strongly going to the downside. You see that we just broken out of this, and we've created a lower version, a smaller version of what I just showed you guys, which is what? A flag. You see that the market is clearly went down and then came back, and now it's looking to go down again. Once it breaks below this level, I'll anticipate for the market to come back, retest, and then continue to go to the downside. So, right, guys, that has been the analysis for the week for the pairs, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy and if you find this helpful, please subscribe and hit that like button. And also, don't forget, you must also go follow me on on TradingView. This is my profile. I share ideas on TradingView. If you go check my profile, follow me if you want, and then just so you can benefit from the ideas that I also share. You can hit me up. I do have socials. I have Instagram. You can go check it out at Sec Trades. Yes, you will see my profile. I share ideas. This is the profile, my profile on TradingView. You can check me out and follow me if you want. And this is the ideas that I do share. So one of the ideas that I shared last week was for gold, which actually went very well, pretty well. You can see I share ideas and also tell you guys what I see. Share ideas and tell you guys what I see. So you can check me out and follow me if you want. And until the next video, thank you guys.